Good morning, everyone. I'm going to talk about something which I'm really passionate about. Okay. Hello. Yeah. Okay. What a beautiful metaphor. Such a lovely metaphor for life, and for my journey, my entrepreneurial journey, moving from a professional to becoming an entrepreneur. All of us have a dream somewhere, however young you are, whatever your age, whatever your life stage, there's a dream inside you, a deeper destiny to fulfill. But if you want to do that thing, that's something extraordinary, something out, lift up the anchor, cut the bowlines, let them go, put your sails up, catch that favorable wind, and move into uncharted waters. That's the important. Move of your comfort zone completely. Because in order to find something new, you have to leave something behind. When people talk about entrepreneurship, there are three to your mind all the time: dream, vision, action. Of course, you need a dream to know where you're going to, and you need passion to build that business vision. We talked about a social venture. To actually be able to sustain that, to actually make it happen, I think there's some very mundane words that I will use. It's resilience, and it is the ability to execute. The ability to execute. Resilience is the ability to have a never give up attitude. Just never give up. And I'm going to talk about that a lot in the next few minutes. And the ability to execute, to make that dream a true reality. Because if you don't have that, then a dream can actually become a nightmare, or it remains a dream. And that's what we discovered, many years ago, 10 years ago, when we decided we were going to build a sailing company. What did it mean? That we are going to get thousands of people to sail, create access for thousands of people. So in a very structured, nice MBA manner, we went across, found out working models all over the world, but we were really in uncharted waters. And when that storm hit, and it hits you every day, there is nobody to tell you the how. There is nobody to tell you the how. Nothing that has worked before works. Even the way you're used to working and the things that worked for you don't work. But what does work? Innovation. And what does work is ideation. Very simple to talk about, but let's give some examples. What were we up against? We were trying to build a sailing industry, in a country where nobody really wants to go out on the water, because it's too hot. I'm going to get dark. You mean to say you want me to sail at 2 o'clock in the afternoon? Was the question people would ask. But that's the time the winds are best, and that's the time the sail is the best. In a country where if I had a program with all of you and I said, put up your hand and see how many of you actually know how to swim, there'd be more than 80% who'd say they don't know how to swim. There was a fear of water. In this kind of a scenario, there was no model in the world which told us how to do it. But we had to do it. And what did we decide to do? We said, we won't sell sailing as a sport. That nobody's looking for sailing as a sport. What they are looking for is a romantic getaway. So sunset sailing. What they are looking for is a wonderful way to spend time with family. So come for something called our Splash program, where there's food, fun, and lots of sailing. That's the way we would position it. And we found a lot of people coming and saying, wow, this is something nice to do on a weekend with the family, to bond, father and son, mother and daughter, to bond. This was the way we found ways. Create a memory, celebrate your 40th birthday or your 21st birthday. And we found that this is what started working. The fear was replaced by magic. Corporate India, my best customer, they really put the wind in our sails. Corporate India, were they looking to take the organization sailing? No, they were bankers, they were IT companies. But what were they looking for? A way to network with their top customers, a way to wow their employees, a way to engage them, a way to teach top management deep lessons. So we said, let's take the senior leadership team, put them on a boat, make them race, blindfolded, And then they start learning the meaning of collaboration and trust in a way that you can never learn it otherwise. We did this, and suddenly we found schools were sailing with us. People were adding sailing to weddings. Forget about the bride getting dark. People were creating conferences and taking out half a day to wow those distributors that they had. And this was all because we thought it was possible. So another lovely sailing saying that I like is that you have to catch the tailwinds. And what does this mean in sailing? When there's an opportunity that presents itself, then you have to grab it. It doesn't matter whether it's the right time or whether you were prepared for it. But when the wind's coming head on, you just change your course. So here was a pharma company who said to us, you know, I love this program you did for 20 of my senior managers, but can you do it for 800 of my salespeople? And we said yes. And we just figured out, we just ideated and figured out how to do it. And the sea of possibilities opened up with that. So was it all smooth sailing? It sounds like such a wonderful, easy story, right? This is a classic brand example. But was it really easy? You know, I come from consumer marketing, crores of marketing budgets. I had zero marketing budgets, zero. So how did we make people aware of all these products or these experiences? We went to journalists and just got them to sail. We discovered the power of collaboration, of partnerships, of alliances, and suddenly we had Bombay Times doing Women's Day with us, Forbes India doing a CEO regatta with us, CNBC doing our tech toys with our sailing boats, and suddenly there was all this buzz and magic about sailing with not 1 rupee spent. If somebody called me up and said, I got a great opportunity for you, Zia, there is this trade show happening, all your stakeholders are going to be there, it's just 10,000 rupees for a stall. I said, I don't have 1 rupee. But we could barter sailing. And that was the magic of finding solutions every time you had a problem. Last week, in fact, just this Monday, I was at a funeral, and a friend of mine was there, and obviously death was high on the, we were thinking about it, and she said, isn't it for you as an entrepreneur, dying and getting resurrected every day? And I said, yes, it is. And she said, how do you manage? And I said, you know, the first time I sailed a boat when I was, I think, 16 years old, I went sailing. And what happened? My boat capsized. I was in the water. But I was told, get back on the boat. So I got back and we sailed off. And we fell off again. What happened? I got back again. And I came home and I told my mom, you know what? I capsized a boat. It was the most fascinating experience of my life. And that's what happens in an entrepreneurial journey. You're always falling off. But if you can get back on, then the fear of falling gets away from you. And you no longer fear dying, but you enjoy the process of resurrecting. And I think for me that was extremely powerful. And this is what I mean by that, because every single day when you wake up in the morning, and I mean this, every single day, you either are solving a crisis, you are wondering whether you're going to survive, or you're wondering how to deal with this wonderful opportunity that's come your way. It's survival, or it's an opportunity lost every single day. And you stop trying to control what's happening to you. You just start learning how to respond to it in the most effective manner. This example I will give you, which is our prime milestone in our long 10 years of having run this company. We knew that we wanted to build a sailing company, and we knew we wanted to make India a go-to destination. So Goa was some place we wanted to be in. It was very important. If we could create a sailing company, sailing center in Goa, we could attract the world's tourists, we could attract everybody from India. But how to do it? We didn't have the money. We had gone and checked out Goa. We had done all the recce's. And one day, I just got a call. I got a call from an ex-colleague whom I'd worked with, who also did a leadership program with us. And he said, guess what? We are building a hotel in Goa on the bay. We wanted to stand out in a different way. Can you come and see whether you can add sailing to it? So we, of course, went and had a conversation. And they were wanting to do a few boats and provide sailing to their guests. And we looked at this person who luckily, and this was always a story of everything, there is luck. There is a conspiracy which works in your favor if you want something. This person was a sailor. He'd come from Europe. And we said, why are you building this small sailing center? Let's build a state-of-art sailing center that caters not just to the hotel guests that you're building, but to everybody in Goa. He saw the power of the idea, and a state-of-art sailing center in Goa was built. But then came the setback. We had to ensure that we had that many boats to run such a big sailing center. Where was the money? So we went to somebody who had invested with us in our first set of boats. And he said, no, we agreed that unless you're breaking even and unless one center is viable, we don't go in to do new centers. But this was his opportunity. And we had to sell that dream. And it was wonderful how our friend actually saw the possibilities and invested. And we suddenly had a wonderful sailing center, 40 boats, and everything going for us. The hotel was built, of course, after a few years. We went through a lot of risk and a lot of heartache, but it was the most exciting part of our journey. We were ready to launch. We had already taken bookings. We had all stakeholders who had been showcased, and we had companies who had signed up and were just waiting for the monsoons to end. And on 1st of October, we were ready to launch the center. We had got staff from abroad, and we had 3-4 corporate bookings who had actually paid us in advance. And just as we were going to open on 1st of October, we got a call and we were told, all permissions withdrawn. Can't launch. You know, that day was disappointment, frustration. There are no words to describe it. Do you know how long it took us to get those permissions? 5 long years. 5 long years. And I heard you talking about the inaction. We were very clear we would get the permissions, but only on our terms, only the right way. It was 5 years of believing in ourselves, of persistence, of doing it the only way we knew how. I won't go into the story of how it happened, but it was, again, magic in the universe. And now we are sailing in Goa. To me, this is a journey of an entrepreneur. But I also had a journey as an individual. I came from a structured MBA, large company background, and for me, process, review meetings, Monday morning meetings, do it right, and checklists were the way to go. Outcome orientation, you have a target, and it became more important when you're running a cash negative company. My team was fantastic. They were not geared to handle such complex products like we were handling, you know, marquee events for top-end customers, but they were doing it day in and day out in a fantastic way. But I knew that there was pressure. They were stretching themselves beyond what anybody could do. And I was standing at a beach watching a kayak race. I was a facilitator. I watched a high-performance team planning how beautifully they were going to sail those kayaks. They were going to partner well, they were going to synchronize, they were going to get there and come back in a time frame that they had set. And we said 1, 2, 3, go. And everybody just forgot their plan. They ran, they jumped in. The senior manager hopped in without waiting for his partner, rode like hell. What do you think happened? They toppled. There was no question about getting to where they had to get. And I was standing there and saying, go slow, row slower, you'll go faster. And I said, that's the message to myself. Go slow. There's no urgency. Relax. You'll go faster. And for me, that was an aha moment for myself. I came back and I reflected on all that had happened, and I said, wow, what a wonderful team we have. And for me, it was almost like the sea flowed into me. I got into the rhythm. You know, I realized that the tide will come and the tide will go. And that moment for me was a transformational moment. And I looked back and thought of all the times in this journey that the universe conspired to make good things happen. It was amazing. The right people at the right time who did things that you never expected them to do. That was the time we got our big corporate institutional investor not even a month ago. And at this moment, I realized that this is not the end of the journey, but it's the beginning of a new one. And the question I ask myself is, should I put anchor down and should we just have a smooth sail? And the answer is no. I've got to go out and face the new storms if I want to enjoy new sunsets. one has to continue to explore if one wants to continue to create, to dream and to discover. And I hope that some of you here will be inspired to find the courage to dare to dream and to create your destiny.